So it's the first day of fall, and it was also quite a day in the market. So you might be wondering, what in the pumpkin spice latte is happening here, especially after the latest Fed rate hike. We got 75 basis point increase here on September 21st, 2022. Well, let's take a look at a particular market that might help get your bearings on how much more volatile trading might be, and that is the VIX. So before we look at the charts, important reminder that trading and investing can be extremely risky business. Therefore, it's your responsibility to evaluate any information, opinion, advice, or other content contained in this video. All right, so here's a chart of the VIX that I pulled up, a daily chart, every candlestick representing 1 day of price action. And I have not touched this particular chart since August 31st, which is the last time I shared this type of VIX update with you here. So you can see that this gray vertical line is representing August 31st. And since then, the VIX fell lower. It hit the support I had at 23.13, okay? Tested it, held it, and then resumed higher. And with the latest market action in response to the Fed rate hike, and more importantly, the Fed's commentary talking about future rate hike plans, where it sees rates going in the short term, and sort of warning people that they need to be putting up with the pain of increasing rates to fight inflation, all of that led to a very volatile afternoon session here. But I want you to notice something, okay? And like I said, I didn't come and prep this chart and handpick these levels at all in between the last update and now. I've been watching the VIX, but I didn't touch this particular chart, and I want to show you something. So after coming and testing that 23 area of support on the VIX, which also coincided with this long-term green trend line, which, yes, had previously been violated, but it was helpful here in late August, again in late August and early September. The VIX rallied from there, and it went through this first resistance at 27.76. So we can take that one off the chart. Then here, today, in just one session, frankly, in a couple hours, it went through the resistance at 29.06, and then it stopped just shy of the resistance at 30.22. Guys, it came up to 30.18. That's 0.03, the tiniest of margins. So what this tells me, in combination with not only that resistance holding, but the fact that it is right, as you can see, right at this falling blue trend line, is that right now, the VIX is in a position where it could sort of calm down, slow its up move, and as the market participants digest this Fed news and latest rate hike and updates, perhaps we will have a little bit of stability before it continues higher and the market continues lower, or maybe even reverse from here on the VIX, suggesting the market might find a bottom soon. So what do we need to look at next to be able to take advantage of that? Now I come in and add new levels. So I'm just going to do those here right in front of your eyes, okay? So 2167 is still valid to use. I also would like to look at the low that formed when we tested the support at 23, so 2264. I also now have this low here at 2542, okay? That is a support that would need to be taken out along with support at 2556. So this is what's called a zone of support. So I'm going to move the labels so you can see them both together at the same time. See 2561 and 2542. A zone of support is two levels of support that are really close together. So the whole area in between them too counts as support. If I had a third level in there, it would be what I call a cluster. And I detail that often in my Skinny the Mini. Now, I want you to look at the bottom half of this chart for a moment. That might also give us clues as to where the VIX is headed. So that is my RSI Power Zones indicator that's down below. And the RSI Power Zones is based off the Relative Strength Index. It tweaks it so that you're looking at the indicator relative to the trend of the market, not just applying it to sideways ranges. And one thing that's really interesting right now is that there's a disconnect, okay, a little bit of a disconnect right now between this surge higher in the VIX today versus the movement of the RSI Power Zones. And that disconnect, as we monitor and see it unfold and see if it forms a full pattern, might also give us a clue that, hey, yeah, this was a big move higher in the VIX, but maybe that was it for at least a couple days. We have a breather, and then the market has a more directional move. So all of that I detail in depth in my entire RSI Power Zone system. It starts with the winning RSI playbook, then there's a strategy that's in the Bull Bear RSI Face-Off ebook, and then the full enchilada, if you will, is in the 4 Zones RSI coverage system. All right, so let's see if there's any other adjustments to make or any other levels to look at, and I'll be back here with one. All right, I'm back, and now I have 2 other levels that have come in here. I'm gonna bring those labels to the right, and those are based on my Gann candlesticks techniques that I detail in my Gann candlestick system. But you can see the levels here. I'm giving the results 2787, and it's pink for support, as well as 2671. So notice that 2787 is actually really close to the closing value of this current VIX daily bar at 2799. So that is feeding into this idea that, yes, there was a volatile reaction to the Fed rate announcement, whether you were trading stocks or anything else. And especially on the S&P, it went lower, then it went higher, then it went lower again. It was all over the place. But this kind of big shakeout that happened with the news might be kind of a push of energy that then fizzles out. And we will monitor the VIX support and resistance as well as actual levels in the markets in conjunction with it. So again, if you're new here, I'm Hema Reddy. I look at price, time, momentum in my trading, and I really get deep into kind of giving you guys my takes on the market, especially the S&P 500 via the E-mini S&P, the E-mini NASDAQ, and stock picks in my Skinny on the Mini. And that's in my Skinny on the Market service. As for momentum, this whole indicator down below, that I teach in the 4 Zones RSI coverage system. And those are great places to start if you're newer to me or my tribe or newer to the markets. So we will see how the rest of the season unfolds, right? It's just the first day of fall here. But that was kind of a wild ride. And now, at least on the VIX, you have a framework for what to watch out for, all right? So remember to subscribe, like, comment down below, share what golden nuggets you may have gotten from this video, join my tribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the inside. You can sign up with a link to join my tribe and get my hot, timely, actionable updates as soon as I publish them right to your inbox.